I'm now stronger, and I can capitalize on this strength to do something in the game. It's actually pretty hard to recognize, like, our heroes just innately, with their abilities at this exact time, are stronger than theirs. It's actually really hard to do that. I'm still working on that. I think it's an incredibly difficult awareness that only Tier 1 teams really have.
I think the experience differential in range creeps has kind of helped people visualize that a little bit better, because everyone's so obsessed about denying the range creeps, getting the range creeps, and you're like, I gotta hit this level 2 skill point so that I finally have like that little tiny advantage in the lane. And I think that's kind of starting to, I don't know, waypoint to people that like there are earlier power spikes than just items all the time.
Yeah, it can just be 6 minutes in, even just a casual 5 rotating to the offlane.
Right.
Those are big things that I see a lot in Tier 1 Dota that is not nearly as common.
The issue though in this previous game is the lanes didn't go as well that HellRaisers want to, right? Their draft was built around those laning phase, and their Weevil was already being pressured from the Centaur Phoenix.
Yeah, he was not supposed
and
to.
And NaVi was making the moves first, right? So it's NaVi, they want to be chill, they want to relax anyways, right? Their draft is about waiting. You look at HellRaisers, their draft was like winning. When they don't win, they then have to also go for the same suit. So sure, we're not seeing the right moves, but it's mainly about the impact in laning phase, which I think is the key thing. It's not the moves on the map and the overall gameplay, it's the fact that the lanes aren't going as cleanly as we see in the Immortal bracket, and that's why the game feels a little bit slower, because one team's in recovery mode, and the other team is in, oh, we can still just farm because we're not being punished because we've already outplayed them, right? So I think that's the main thing, other than, you know, these points.
Well, to go off that, one of my favorite points to always reiterate almost every event I'm at is that one team is always happy with nothing going on in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always one team. Sometimes both teams, but usually one is like much more in favor. It's like, okay, if nothing happens, we'll get to our power spike in like 5 minutes and we'll be stronger than them. Like, usually it's with the implication that the opponent at the current moment is stronger than you, but it also might just be that you know you'll be stronger than them at 4 or 5 minutes from now. So why do anything now? And all you're playing is reactionary defensive Dota. And that's honestly, in these type of series where I do believe Navi's the better team, if they're the team that wants a slow game, that's probably what we're going to see. If they're the team that wants a fast, high tempo game, that's probably what we'll see, because usually the better team will dictate what's going on in the game.
I like from HellRaisers the respect they're showing. Even though they pick up this Ember, or projected the Ember pick, it's the bans are still Drow, TB, Storm. All heroes that you would expect Ember to be pretty good against, right? So it's the expectation that Ember might have been banned, so we still have to cover ourselves from these heroes. And overall, I like the adjustment HellRaisers have made so far from that first game, because they were pretty much like hinged around this IO. Get rid of that factor. Again, not banned, not touched in the series, but it allows HellRaisers to actually take the fights. The reason why they were so strong in previous tournaments was because they are one of the teams that has that flex potential with most of their cores, going all the way down from like carry to support, for example, but also they're so good at their early fighting and just being dominant. When you have an IO in your team, they can't do that. So happy to see HellRaisers aren't as stubborn as some of the Immortal teams, for example, when they're in a best of 3 situation.
Kind of confused though. HellRaisers has not drafted a single ounce of teamfight yet.
That's what I meant about skirmishing. They're a skirmishy fight, non-stop in-your-face team rather than.
But so they just never have teamfight.
Well, it's the element of fighting. They might layer it in with their last 2 picks, but the concept so far is.
It is the same. I'm seeing like consistency with. I agree with you. That is exactly what we're seeing. Yeah. But I do agree. I do believe to some extent that like you can't just have. I want teams to have their own flair, but
there are shortcomings.
Yeah, there's definitely a line you have to draw between meta and flair. You know, you have to meet it halfway. But so far,
that's like something that I thought have been an issue with earlier Liquid, is that they really like teamfight, and there's such a thing as going too far on the other end of the spectrum and being too cooldown dependent.
Yep.
Now you have an RP.
Go. So in terms of like the skirmish, having a quick look through, they always seem to have like one element of teamfight, be it like the Warlock, be it the Magnus, be it, you know,
that's the
Phoenix. There's something, but yeah,
that's the Arc Warden for noobs hero.
NaVi classic. This is a
not as good at split pushing though. That's kind of Arc Warden's main.
I'm saying that straight up. I think Arc Warden is literally a better hero, and if you can't play Arc Warden, you play Medusa. I'm dead serious.
What about in team fights? Medusa versus Arc Warden. Who do you think is a better team fighter?
Can you rephrase that to timings? Because I think Medusa has a nicer team-orientated timing where you can push through.
Then. So then, when would you say that Medusa versus Arc Warden comes online sooner for team fights.
Item-wise, Medusa could be potentially active, let's say just a Manta, right? She can go pressure a tower. But then the Arc Warden, it's like Midas, Maelstrom, Bot, +1, right? It's like 4 items compared to Medusa could easily itemize for like 1 or 2 small items into fight, or 1 big item and equally the same type of fight.
When I call them like similar heroes, like the way they play early game is very similar, but the way they scale is quite different, right? But Arc Warden builds to do so much damage that you have to get through his team to get to him. Medusa builds a way that she just literally stands in front of you, and your goal is to actually out split push her, right? Because you can't, like you want to outmaneuver. When I say out split push, you want to outmaneuver her because her main weakness is lack of mobility. I did want to say, by the way, this reminded me of a very off-topic point, but
please, by all means.
I was listening to a streamer, and his main language was not English, but he spoke English, and he said the word orientated.
Okay.
And I got really triggered because I'm like, it's oriented. What the, you know?
Okay, I'm with you.
And so I mentioned this, and someone goes, "Yeah, in British English, it's orientated."
Really?
Yeah, and he just said orientated. So
really?
it really sparked me there. I guarantee. I know he doesn't know this. Because I heard him say orientated. And I just want to say that
I'm Googling this.
I got triggered, but I was like, wow.
This is interesting because my parents are from India, and so there's a lot of like British English left over in India, and they often say orientated, and I just assumed that it was just because it was like an English second language kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I thought the same thing. I was like
intrigued.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's funny. These are the things that us Americans are too ignorant for our own good, you know?
Oh my God, you're right. Google says
That's good.
verb and then British
orientated.
All right, talk about the
Taught
draft
some
team
Americans
of,
at home, I'm sure.
Tell me some Dota.
Quick sift through this chat real quick.
Yeah.
I hope HellRaisers maybe go for like a troll warlord right now. I think that would be a really good
Against
activated hero
Dusa?
from the Magnus. Yeah, against Dusa. If the Dusa is mid, it's Windrunner mid, right? Doom off lane, Medusa most likely safe lane. But still, I think troll could be very good. It pairs well with the. No, I think it's too slow, and I'm not a fan of the anti-mage. But
I'm so good at predicting the team that's going to lose this game.
This is unfortunately.
I can relate, HellRaisers. I feel you.
Unfortunately, HellRaisers are using the NA logic, and it didn't work game 1, the NA logic, but the reason why I prefer troll in this scenario, just quick give it some grounding, is it's the fight. You know, you could easily go for like diffusal. You actually have a way to deal with Medusa, if I can even put my teeth in.
You did mention that you found HellRaisers to be a very skirmish team,
Exactly.
as the odds are also yet again favoring NaVi, but yeah.
But now anti-mage, it's like you want to fight, but you can still never truly fight. And the game, we've seen these windrunners. Is it 4? Is it 3? It's so strong with the javelin. It's always kill potential in this anti-mage. I think HellRaisers, they have the fight, but they've lost their ability to win this game. I think.
You don't think anti-mage could go like Manta, or sorry, Vlad's Manta? We saw Miracle.
Yeah,
do it. I'd be down for something like that. That's
if he does,
I
think that could also be a very good build. Good point there.
Is it just? I feel like the main justification is you're against a Medusa. So I mean, like, sure, troll diffusal is nice and all, but it's anti-mage versus Medusa.
Well, I'm saying that if he goes for this like mid-game fighting timing, I like this anti-mage. If he goes Battle Fury, I think it might see the same problem we saw last
100%.
game.
If he goes Battle Fury, I think this game will just be over. If he goes for the fighting build, I can see why they go for it, but I still think you don't have the lockdown, the solo pick off from the anti-mage, right? Like if he jumps onto Medusa, it's not like he can contain her, right? There's not like this inbuilt route or some mechanic you can use. It's just gonna be like, oh, I'm just stone gaze, right? I failed my blink, but it's again item-based issue. Mag might cover it. I still prefer NaVi's draft.
Then let's see if a divine team versus an immortal team can maybe change the dynamic as we move forward into game 2 and send it over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Tsunami. Yes, game 2 ready to go. We're getting the anti-mage out as that last pick is the AM Magnus teaming up together from HellRaisers. What do you reckon? Do you like that sort of last response to the Medusa? You do have this carry that is going to be able to burn through that mana.
I want to see a different kind of item build coming out from AM. Something, that we've seen from Nigma.
Yeah.
They had Mag and AM, so he went for Vlad's Orb of Venom and just proceeds to, farm up and gets Manta Style much earlier, so you can do much more with the Manta Style. You can dodge a Shackle, you can dispel Wave of Terror, and you have that Manta Style online faster, which means more mana burn on Medusa.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he is able to, or if he is going to do that. As you say, just being able to make use of having that Magnus in his squad and using that ability to skip the battle Fury. Over on NaVi's side, I mean, just sort of things overall, like, do you prefer one of the drafts here? Do you think a team sort of got an easier path to victory?
Medusa and Venge. This is kind of a lineup, you know, that can just knock on your tier 3 towers 20 minutes in, depending how the early game is going, how many stacks you have. And it's pretty easy to stack with Venge. You can stack multiple camps with her second ability and just attacking. And that's going to be offlane mag. I don't put much, you know, trust in the offlane mag. Nigma have done it, but almost every single other team that I've watched play kind of failed with it.
Oh, and why is that? What does the hero sort of miss out on being played in this position as opposed to something else?
I still feel the strongest part of the hero is that he is the actual damage dealer and he comes online fast. Like, you just can't contest mag. Suddenly he shows up 15 minutes in, Echo Saber power treads a Blink Dagger, and no other hero in the game can do that at the moment. They nerfed him by 25%, self-damage on Empower, not enough. This is the kind of build I want to see on the offlane mag, not getting Empower, more of a killer type build, especially with the Tiny. They have 2 repositioning skill once mag hits level 2 with the Skewer and the Toss combo.
Yeah, we'll see sort of how it does go with the builds. I mean, obviously eventually he's going to want to have us points in that Empower to help out the anti-mage, unless we are just going to see the AM still go for the Battle Fury himself. We'll see what the case is going to be with that. The mid lane, Kasani Ember against Youngji Doom. We have seen Youngji play very nicely in the mid lane.
That's what I've seen. I don't know if you were paying attention. I'm pretty sure the chat saw that one typed CS lol.
I'm sure they were probably typing it before you even checked the lane. They were prepared for those. But yeah, on the mid Doom, do you expect another pretty solid game from Youngji? This is a lane that he's going to farm freely in and maybe even get the win in?
I've seen mid Dooms doing much better than I expected, where they get ton of farm, like you get multiple points in Devour. Creep Camp is closer, so he's going to get the value out of that one. Let's see what he finds.
Oh, he's going to go over, yeah, grab it from HellRaisers' side. So, the Mud Golem, I mean, I guess you can mess with some CS throwing the stone out. But nothing incredible for the lane. Bottom lane, Miposhka doing his best to push back Immersion, make sure that space is there for his anti-mage to farm freely. And so far, things looking good for the AM down here. Not having too much pressure early on from the two of them, Immersion and 9 Pasha.
It's a tough lane for Vindranger. I mean, he's doing well, 8 CS so far, but against AM's mana burn, against the spell mechanic in the laning stage, you just might struggle.
Top lane, King are able to make things happen there between the two of them. And you said it, you know, these two, they are pretty solid killers here. A lot of burst early on between that beefy duo off lane that HellRaisers got with the Tiny and the Magnus.
So far, so good for AM. Complete free farm. He does not care too much about any harassment coming out from Clock. Can easily just jump out of the cogs. I don't think Clockwork even gets cogs in this lane. I think you need to just go for the rocket build instead.
Yeah.
Secure some CS, maybe make a play on the other lane. Yeah, this is trouble. Pasha's in trouble, actually.
Yeah, just so much harassment here from the two members of HellRaisers.
If AM has Orb of Venom, that's a dead Vindranger.
Yeah, hasn't got it out for himself, at least so far in the laning setup.
And I see Ring of Health being queued up on AM, which means that he wants to go for Battle Fury.
Unless it's the Vanguard build. You know, that used to be a build, didn't it? On the AM, we saw what Miracle went for the... He went for the Vlad's build.
True, but with the Vlad, you have enough mana regen to jump between the camps. You need some kind of mana item. Otherwise, you're not getting too much out of it. Or you need to have constant clarities running on you, which is not good.
Now, mid lane continue to be very close. I mean, Youngji's got a few more denies for the most part. Neither of these heroes really under too much threat from one another. We are going to see a movement coming in around the 4-minute rune. Quick chains here from Kasani trying to hold Youngji back, but Youngji's got the movement speed. That haste rune will be his.
12 HP regen per second, double bracer, and 2 points in Devour.
Yeah, it's pretty hard as well with the double bracer. Now the blades of attack. So Kasani is going to have to prepare himself for quite some punches from the Doom.
This lane does not really pressure AM at all. Centaur helping them out.
It does get the stun on the turn, then they've got the avalanche follow up on Ilias. Ilias will turn with the magic missile onto Funnick, but Funnick's still able to get in with the skewer, find the slow. And one more punch will do it. King R's able to reach in and finish off Ilias for the second time in this lane. Doing a good job, HellRaisers, of just punishing this Venge anytime she comes just a little too far forward. Still, not necessarily slowing down Crystallizer's farm, though. He's still able to farm.
Oh, Medusa's going to contest this one with the snake if he has it. And it's going to be there. I'm not sure you're getting that kill.
I mean, a few hits with the Wave of Terror. It's going to be close. King R trying to hold Crystallize back with the toss, but still mana to provide Crystallize protection. The bounce for the snake is going to hit onto Funnick. Funnick's got to skewer away.
Funnick.
He makes it out. He's got the bottle.
Yeah. He's done it in the previous game as well, which allowed him to stay at the top of net worth first 15 minutes. You know, just the constant mana regen and the spam. AM going for power trends, which I really like. Instead of going for regen, you have Enchantress, you have some tangos left, and a small ring flask to work with. No points in nature attendance, but still, AM complete free farm in this lane.
Yeah, both him and Kasani getting some excellent farm early on as 2 cores. And the AM's game only going to get easier once he starts gearing up with Funnick's in power. And heading around the jungle, and then it's just going to be a case of whether Crystallize can stay on the level or ahead with the Do set. Did cure the Midas earlier, so it looks like that will be the route he wants to go, just to make sure that he can keep up with the farming speed of an AM with Cleave. Pasha.
Cogs. Oh, got him.
Yeah, they're going to be able to keep it safe. Nicely done from Immersion. Coming in and does stop Pasha from going down there. Was just a hit away from dying as the Wind Ranger. A good CP from Immersion. Comes in, keeps him safe. And, oh, okay. Did stick around.
He tried to go for a last hit.
He did.
And travel help, but that play from the magic wand. Crystallize in trouble. He's low on mana.
And does manage to get the snake out, so a little bit there for backup, but there's backup for HellRaisers. Kasani's in with the chains onto Crystallize. He pops the stick. He's trying to get back underneath the tower. Toss comes in though. Crystallize will fall. As King R able to finish that off there, chucking Funnick in with the toss. And they managed to kill the Juicers. Now 4 for 0. HellRaisers getting some of these early kills. Kasani getting active across the map. Youngji's here. Comes in from the trees, able to drop down the Doom. Do they have enough control, though, to keep this Ember in place? Youngji trying to close up on him, but King R's there with the Avalanche. Keeps him safe. This Ember ain't going to fall to that Doom. He's out of there, so first Doom usage not off to great effect.
Whoa, this is pretty big that he actually survived that first Doom. Bottom lane doing extremely well. Also, Doom not a hero that, you know, just goes in and ganks people. They need some kind of a follow-up. Immersion, what is he, level 3 or 4? Like, you need your Clockwork to be active. You need him to get levels to actually be that initiator, because right now, NaVi looking like they're in a very tough spot. I also want to see what AM has queued up. Just
yes,
see if he's going for the Battle Fury or the Vlad's build.
I mean, with this sort of a start where they're not really under any pressure, you may just go for the Battle Fury anyway, despite having the Empower buff. We'll see how fast he does want to play it. It's back down bottom. And Miposhka with the micro, playing around with Pasha. Immersion is going to be there. And actually with the Shackle out, they'll be able to turn and do quite a bit of damage here to Miposhka. Ego tries to jump in, but the power shot. Yeah, nice snipe from Pasha comes in. King R is there with the wraparound, looks over towards Immersion, but Immersion's under the tower, and NaVi, they've brought in more as Youngji.
4 people.
Ready to start running down. Another power shot connects from Pasha, sets up for King R to fall. Good turn. As we do see the mask picked up, so it looks like he will be going the same route that we saw Nigma do when they ran the AM and the Magnus, and something that the panel said they did want to see. And would you agree this is the way to play? Make full usage of the fact you've got the Empower on your side, and don't waste money and time on the battlefield.
Yeah, surprised some of the teams did not start picking it up much earlier. It's an old mechanic that goes back a couple of years ago, and now they're gonna start to making aggressive rotation on the top lane for HellRaisers. Oh, that's a big stack.
Oh, that is, if they can get over here. I mean, they've got ways to clear these stacks. Take them away from HellRaisers. They'll get a ward down, so they'll have vision on when Navi's going for it, and HellRaisers can have a chance of getting in. King R, he's actually going to get the wraparound. He's able to just walk in on the two of them. The combo into the chains. Ilias and Immersion taken down straight away.
Take the stack. They need to take the stack right now. It's super farm. That's like
they're not going for it yet, but I mean, they've got to contest it. Maybe they want to leave it now because they've got the ward down and, you know, just wait until Navi's maybe farming it, getting a little low. But yeah, they've got to make sure they don't just let Crystallize pick that up for free.
Iron Talent for Medusa. Okay, that's the farming item that she needs. Pasha. Man, this anti-mage is playing extremely aggressive.
Yeah.
Still did not hear or see Mana Void, and he just bought another Raid Band. I like it. Like, you need some kind of a extra attack speed, extra damage if you're going for that no Battle Fury build.
Oh yeah, true. With the two Wraith Bands and the Vlads, when you're empowered in the fights, this is going to be an AM that he's going to feel very strong early on in this game. You've got to be careful for him, especially in these fights where they get the setup for RPs. This AM's going to be able to blink in and easily offer the damage to clear up anyone caught in the RP.
They're very limited on the tower damage on side of HR, so they need to keep playing with the catapult timings if they want to keep the pressure, or just bring 1-2 creeps. 1 creep from Enchantress. Never mind, can't have 2.
Bit of damage done here mid. Looks like the stack was taken, and they got the D-ward as well, Navi, so we're able to hold control of that. HellRaisers just opting to put the pressure on the top lane. This tier 1 starting to get pushed in. Navi's smoke coming to an end. They're not going to be able to get her in time. Tower down.
Clockwork just hit level 6. I want to see a rotation coming out from Clockwork. Bottom lane, that's a big kill if they can get it. Hook shot into Shackle, but they need a follow-up. They also need to use Doom to secure the kill.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. They've got to find some way of getting Young G on top of him. Without the Doom, this anti-mage doesn't die.
He's deeping out.
He's out.
Great sense.
Yeah.
I don't see any wards, but sometimes you can see when the enemy hero who's showing on the lane starts acting differently. You see a Wind Ranger stepping like 50 range closer, trying to attack him a couple of times, just being in the range of a Shackle.
Oh, we'll get the setup here. This will be a kill. A very easy one there. Immersion finding the hook shot straight away onto Kasani. Kasani was able to spend up his money, did go for the bots. So nice early bots this game on Ember. It's 12 minutes in. Make it much easier for him to make these moves around the map. Make sure he's always there when Funnick or the Tiny King R finds some sort of a setup. King R has his blink looking 1500. Starting to get some space to hit creeps himself. Just 1k in it, 1 to 2k at least. We'll start to see how things pick up for both carries now that the anti-mage very much ready to start clearing around the map with the power. And
pops the drum just to get some tower damage going. Mag needs to play for his Blink Dagger. Like, they're gonna have some sick timing on Blink Daggers. 15 minutes in, you're gonna have 1 on Mag, 1 on Tiny. AM will be ready to join a fight with the Vlads and Yasha just to clean things up. I want to see what Kasani had queued up. Just the Boots of Travel, you said? That's it?
Yeah, he's picked it up. He's got the bots online. So you've got the bots drums going for the Radiance next, Kasani. NaVi, they're going to be fed some free kills here by the looks of it. Underneath the tower, what's going on? All right, 3 heroes just dying in mid on HellRaisers as Crystallize turns up, gets the cleanup on 2 of them.
That's weird. I mean,
yeah.
I expected them to get the Blink Daggers and get the fights going then, but they can do this to make it more interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, Navi's going to say thank you very much. Crystallize, as I say, he's got the Midas rolling and just able to get himself involved with a couple of easy kills mid. Ego will still be able to finish off the tower. And again, obviously as expected after the Vlads, just going for the Manta style as standard. And will still make very good timing on that. But does have to be a little bit of a worry that Crystallize is also having such a good game. Sure, the Deucer can be a big, juicy target for the anti-mage. But at the end of the day, if Navi, they have heroes that can control the fight, make sure that the anti-mage struggles to stay on top of the Medusa, Yes, Medusa can turn and punch back if he's sort of getting the first damage items online before the anti-mages, and you'll see that after Crystallize gets that Manta done.
Medusa is extremely farmed. They also had a couple of good stacks that she cleared. Dragonlance, Hand of Midas. That means that she's going to be getting a lot of levels, going for Manta style next. Camp stacked 10 by Venge. That's insane.
Yeah, that's some big lifting here in the early game. For sure, without a doubt, a lot of money being built up on the map for his team. And there we go, the odds right now still favouring NaVi here. The EGB odds 1.52, and understandable. Crystallize.
Shackle.
And that's also an excellent stone gaze straight away. The turn comes into play. Funnick, RP for what? I mean, it might save him. They're going to run him down. Immersion was able to find Maposhka on the way out, and Funnick, he's not going to get away. This is going to hurt. One of the reasons why we saw the odds there favouring NaVi. I think that you can just sense that Crystallize's game is only going to get better. And if Pasha continues to hit shackles like that, then HellRaisers is going to struggle to actually fight NaVi early on.
So Magnus decided not to get a Blink Dagger. There's still Doom. No follow-up, already used the Blink Dagger, which means that that's why I don't like the Mag as position 3, where like you want to get the Mag, you do not want to get straight a Blink Dagger, but you also need the item to set things up, because it's very hard for them. How far? 2 Blink Daggers. All right, I like that. Use one to get in, one to get out.
Okay.
Then skewer back in.
That's some big brain stuff here from Funnick.
Sassive Foul, come on, use it.
So you go.
What triggers you the most when you're watching a Dota game? Is it passive Hand of Midas? Passive Shovel?
I don't.
Pause.
Probably the passive Midas is. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's definitely too many occasions where we see Midas is just not getting used. There we go. And well, that defusal on AM, that would be quite something. That I've tried that. Back in the day. It was because you didn't have to put points into your abilities. You could put them into stats. So you would just go full stats on AM, you buy a blink, you buy a defusal, and then you'd lose the game. It was excellent. Those were the good days of Dota 2. Those were the good days when you could do that.
Did you know that the old defusal blade had Purge, and you could just kill
the golem
from the Warlock? Yeah, it's insane.
That was amazing.
Oh, you have your ulti, let me just buy this 3,000 gold item, and I'm gonna destroy it instantly.
And that was in the game for a long time as well.
It was.
That wasn't like a patch thing, like we shouldn't have added that. That was a feature, and it was quite something. It just goes to show that some things in Dota that can be there for eternity, and they're just sort of accepted. And I feel one of those things, you do hear some of the people complain, but things like the runes right and the RNG of them, that is a feature that I wouldn't be surprised if like one day Valve just like changes or removes.
Just completely. I mean, we got shrines removed. We had what? 5
things can
in
get
the base,
taken away.
A couple of outside the base. It was pretty impossible to siege the high ground.
Oh, Pasha. Oh, there we go. They got him. Or have they? Yes, they have. Chains are out. Pasha goes down. He goes securing the kill. Pasha online from next after the Manta. Still though, you are starting to see this anti-mage fall behind. There's 2k gold in it now. Crystallize. This Deuce is a problem. They have these heroes that can make the jump in, but again, Medusa very much this hero that if you jump in, you don't burst down. She's just going to turn and start killing you. And sure, anti-mage is great at burning the mana, but as I say, NaVi, they've got multiple ways of swapping cogs out, shackles, ways they can stop this anti-mage actually getting to hit the Medusa. And then if you're not hitting the Medusa, Crystallize is just going to win every fight.
They just need to be careful about the counter spell. Don't get shackled back and don't get doomed back. It might just completely lose you the game. Medusa, is the swap behind her? Yes, it is.
They've got to try and do something about Crystallize.
Take her out first.
Okay, Stone Gaze. It's going to be popped by Crystallize. Young G, he's in. He's got the Doom on the out. This anti-mage is dead. Quick moves from Young G as Funnick tries to skewer away, but he only catches Immersion with him, who's got the cogs. Again, this is the worry if you're HellRaisers. Any bad fight you take anywhere close to Crystallize is just going to allow him to propel himself further and further ahead. This Deucer, his game's only going to get easier at this point if these plays continue to come out like this.
So far, they only managed to kill Medusa once.
Yeah.
And she's staying 3k gold ahead of the Anti-Mage. They just got a kill on him. Midas, come on.
Come on, crystallize.
And you can't just itemize to get a MKB on AM at this point. You need a basher. You need to, you know, be able to kill the rest and then deal with Medusa.
Yeah.
Just get the first jump. But as you said, there's a couple of counterplays to that. There's a swap, there's a clockwork hook shot. They have ways of dealing it.
Mid lane. Try for the jump on Young G. They should be able to find him here. Doom goes down. Honestly, I think if you're Na'Vi, you don't really care too much about who dies as long as your Medusa's farming away. Maybe they can get Roche with this. They do know there's no Stone Gaze.
2 cores with the Empower, power shot plus a rocket. They're popping the drums. They're committed.
Yeah, they want to. I mean, you could maybe try for a steal, but you can see with the positioning of HellRaisers trying to make it hard for the hook shot to come in from an angle.
That's a huge nerf to Clockwork. In the past 2 patches. Oh, barely missed it.
He couldn't reach. He didn't quite have the reach immersion. RP comes out, but the cogs were there. Kind of split them up after the RP immersion. He's actually going to be able to walk out of that. They do lose Pasha. The toss will finally get him, but Crystallize, he's stepping over. Ilias is getting onto now. Crystallize, he's been left alone. This is 5 versus 1, but they can't do it. They're having to run. The Medusa is too strong. Despite killing off 3 members of Na'Vi, they still have to run away. Young G's able to get the jump in onto Kasani. And now, I mean...
they can run into Roche Pit. Or Na'Vi, and Medusa's about to hit level 20, and even when Venge dies, she still gives aura to Medusa. Extra stats.
Oh, use the
Midas.
Midas! Come on, I know he wants to save it for the bigger creep, but there's no creeps here.
Someone cleared the jungle. The nerf I talked about is that Clockwork Rocket duration actually went from 10 to 8, and then from 8 to 6, which is kind of a big deal. Like, you want to have the vision in the pit. Definitely not the nerf that I expected on Clockwork, but it happened. And AM's so far away from just completely getting that Abyssal Blade. Like, even though it's a 3k gold lead for Na'Vi, now they have a big item, and Medusa will have full butterfly in a minute or 2, and then they can just go into a Roche Pit and take it by force. Blink Dagger, that's the first one.
Yeah, first one of many, if Funnick wants to be as experimental as he was queuing up his build to be. But yeah, I mean, Crystallize, he's just only going to be more of a problem for HellRaisers. I mean, how do you deal with the Medusa here? Can you ever sort of kill Crystallize when there's teammates around? Have you got to try and pick off the support heroes? Do you just throw everything onto the Medusa? How do you kill her?
That's a good question, Owen. If they need to take care of the rest, you know, just wait until she uses ulti, try to reset and get her last. I don't see them man-fighting Medusa, especially if she gets the Stone Gaze off. And this is the, like, look what Pasha is doing. Like, he understands that he needs to keep Medusa safe.
Yeah.
Getting Guardian Greaves. Also, I see 1 Lincoln's queued up, so that's the way to counter the Abyssal Blade. Like, this is one of the hardest carries in the game, and if you take care of her, she's gonna deliver. This is what I talked about. Get the full butterfly, run into Roche Pit with the massive Pytus once again.
Oh no. I mean, that's the thing, he's this farm, and even with efficiency being lost. 16,000 net worth. HellRaisers there are starting to come around the pit. Can they actually get in? Wall coverage is good from Na'Vi. They see this. King R, he does try and jump in. They're going to go back in as Young G is able to get the stop on the 2 of them. The Shackle's there onto Funnick. King R's dead. So's Funnick.
Back to the Roche Pit.
Back to the pit. Not only going to get Roche, but getting themselves 2 kills out to the side of it. And it just feels like we're going to get into a bit of a repeat position of game 1 where HellRaisers, they just, that early mid-game, slowly fall behind after 1 or 2 awkward moves, and then it very much seems like they just seem a little lost. Like, what do they do playing this game from this position? It just seems ever so hard.
And the only option for HellRaisers might be the split pushing, the same thing they did in game number 1.
Let's Crystallize with this Aegis. I mean, it's still so early, but 24 minutes in. Midas, Manta, Butterfly, Dragon Lance, Crystallize with all the the components to start pushing even more aggressively down the lanes of HellRaisers, maybe even starting to tackle the high ground if NaVi so wish. At the same time, they may not even feel too much pressure under themselves this game because of how far ahead their Medusa is right now. Let's see, around the mid they go. HellRaisers, I mean, what's their best bet here? It may just have to be waiting for the high ground defense. Finding outside of the base, it's
Oh, look at that range.
so
Dragon Lance again, Midas.
I was gonna say, I'm just looking at the Midas. Where's the creeps? Where's the camps?
Oh, they already used the glyph.
Wait, what?
They used the glyph for some reason.
Why? Oh, I mean, NaVi, they could definitely punish this.
Okay, so they used it for the bottom tower.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna reset just to, you know, get the maximum efficiency going.
Right, tier 2 down mid. NaVi will sweep up to the top to push this round, take another tier 2 whilst they have the Sages. And whilst HellRaisers still struggle to really bring together a fight, they've got the Shiva's Guard done on the Ember Spirit. Seeing Funny just trying to get the Force online so we can have a bit of save, help people get away from the cogs. And Kasani looking for the chase on Pasha, but just a little too elusive. As pressure just continues to mount up on the anti-mage. This anti-mage has got to catch up. At least, as you say, with the Abyssal, then Ego can start to play these fights in a way that he can jump and look to pop at least one of the supporting cast of NaVi.
If AM does not have a buyback and they manage to kill him, this game could just end. They still have Aegis for 2.5 minutes. They're clearing the rest of tier 2 towers at the moment.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Crystallize, I mean, he's
They have
1500
another
away
glyph.
from a Satanic.
Double sentry, double blink.
There we go, they're going to need to try and do something here, HellRaisers. What can they do? They'll get the deep tossing onto Crystallize. Have they got any damage to even threaten him the once? He pops the Manta, steps away to the side. Ilias, he's got the lockdown as well with the immersion follow-up hook shot onto King R. King R's gone. They're now a man down for this defense. No buyback on the Tiny. Fortification now pop, but is whilst the creeps are out of range. So NaVi's going to have a full HP creep wave coming in.
AM's on top, which means that they cannot clear the bottom creeps.
He's going for the jungle creeps, though, not for the tower pressure Ego at the moment. So no real split push pressure. Funny, we'll get a deep dive, deep grab onto Ilias. So Venge is gone. That might be enough, actually, by the looks of it, to sort of scare NaVi off as they start to back away with their Venge dying in that situation.
This is something that Miposhka needs to do. Every single time Venge dies, just use Enchant on that illusion and take it over so they don't get anything out of it and actually use it against them. I'm not sure why that's a thing. Like, this kind of illusion should be strong, and I don't think you should be able to take control of it.
Yeah, I know, it is weird how some fall under that rule and others don't. Ego, how's his timing looking? Going for the Lincoln Sphere next, making sure that he's got that safety against these Dooms, Shackle shots. His early spells is all Pasha. Got the Shackle. Is there any follow-up, though? There is. Immersion coming in with a hook shot. The cogs push back into the Doom. The combos, he's stuck up on the cliff. They have the vision with the rocket flare and the power shot, and now King R, he himself under pressure, has found an Invis rune.
Reveal.
They don't have detention. Oh, he's at. Oh, he sniped Pasha. Oh, we didn't even know where he went, but Pasha did. Damn, with the power shot snipe into the darkness, finds the connection. Very nicely done there from the Wind Ranger. Reads him like a book.
Power shot.
Yeah.
Power shot. Yeah, makes complete sense. Can they do something? Do something, Medusa. I don't know.
I see what you're trying to go for there.
Let's just stop there. It's going to be Aegis gone for NaVi, but that's a full Satanic status resistance. Oh, and she's going to get level 25 pretty soon.
Dude, this is, 29 minutes in. Crystallize just enormous on the Medusa. It's another game where Crystallize has just been he's been able to pop off AC done as well on the Doom, so further ways that Crystallize is just going to be buffed up in the team fights. They just cannot deal with it. They cannot deal with this Medusa right now. It's far too far ahead. They're going to try for a smoke, but Na'Vi themselves, they're smoked up and waiting in the shadows. Kasani swapped in. Oh, but they didn't actually have anyone there ready for that swap, so Kasani's able to pop Remnant, jump out. Still, the remainder of HellRaisers hiding behind him in the smoke. But what is there to do? What kind of jump can they find? Crystallize starts to show, but he's a hard target to jump on. Looking over towards Kasani, but they do manage to get the blink in. Oh, on the backlines, Ego tries to go for immersion with the Mana Void finisher. They'll take it. So Clockwork down, another poke in from Kasani. Still having to stay off to the side without the Mana Void. They don't really have enough burst to take out the heroes of Na'Vi, but still one's enough. Will push Na'Vi back, as Na'Vi will wait and reset once immersion's back in the game. So a little bit of breathing room for HellRaisers.
They definitely don't need to go in and try to end the game right now, but they can wait for the next Rosh. It could respawn in more than a minute. If it's a fast spawn, Pasha's ready to go.
Instant jump in onto the Ember.
Another Doom
is there again, catching this Ember multiple times. Youngji always finding the target. As Kasani will fall down for a minute, has got buyback. Na'Vi will work to push this top lane round, take away the final tier 2 of HellRaisers. So they've got all 5 back in the game. Just continuing to grow that lead. 10k advantage right now, still there for Na'Vi. HellRaisers struggling to make any sort of dent in it.
Pasha has been playing amazing this game, setting up so many kills. That power shot kill on top of that. AM needs to carry this card. Every single time they show in a lane where they want to push, he needs to be there and just try to stop it, kill the creeps. That's their only play.
Oh, Funnick, King up. The grab on Immersion. Immersion is going to pop to the Mana Void. Pasha going to start focus firing away onto Funnick. Ego, he's already out of there. As the chase here from Na'Vi resumes onto Funnick. Another connection as Pasha is able to close the gap, set up a second shackle shot onto Funnick. It's another kill for Na'Vi. King R just hiding and hoping. 20 seconds and he'll be able to TP out. They don't know he's here.
Young G also playing extremely well. Like, he can't do like any flashy plays with the Doom, but his Dooms were on point, except the first one. Like, every single time he got the kill on the Ember Spirit.
No, it's been a tough game for the Ember. Young G always able to read him.
That's a big item. I see Aghanim Scepter queued up on him.
So Young G
break, and the longer stun. If you break AM, it's like any other hero.
Yeah, he's just gonna do no damage and just die. He's just gonna die. As King R, he's still chilling up here. He's been trying to get these creep waves cut.
Ooh, he even has Quiver. So, more extra range. Is that Divine Rapier queued up, or is it just getting MKB?
I think it's MKB. I don't think we're going to get treated to a Rapier hit. I think they're going to play it safe. No, Daedalus. Okay, Daedalus. That's a little bit more exciting than a MKB. Oh, they found him! Oh, they found him. They found him. Was trying to cut these creep waves and stuck around for a creep wave too many. They hunted him down. But yeah, that's the full Daedalus done on Crystallize. And as you saw as well in the XP, very, very close to being that level 25 here. Just 33 minutes in Crystallize. 462 CS at 33 minutes. They cannot do anything about it.
25 Medusa, all right.
Yeah, and a DD rune.
Not bad, so...
Midas.
Modifiers, okay, gotta get the most out of it. Keeping the spider legs for now. No boots.
I mean, that's the dream neutral, right? For I mean, there's so many good ones, I guess, for Medusa, but the slot efficiency of getting spider legs, it's just great, right? Because this is a hero that just does so much with, you know, having these huge late game items.
Yeah, Spider Snake. Imagine, how do you kill Spider Snake?
I don't know. I don't know. What would the weakness be? I mean, I mean,
you can't just cut off the legs because it's just gonna be like a regular snake.
What's Spider-Man's weakness in like the lore? Are you much of a superhero expert?
I'm no superhero expert. I watch the movies, but you know, not the biggest fan.
Oh, King R, he's got the venge. But Kasani, he just gets torn apart by these crits of
Another
Medusa.
shackle.
Pasha, it just don't stop. It just don't stop from this Wind Ranger. Catch after catch, setting up kill after kill for Crystallized. That's 2 cores dead, neither of them with buyback.
He's still chasing. He might get him.
Is he going to get another shackle? Oh, he is. Pasha, ladies and gentlemen, having a beautiful, beautiful night on the Wind Ranger.
You're not getting out. I mean, Medusa has a ton of attack speed.
Yep.
Plus Shackle coming through once again. Even Cheese on Medusa. She just gave it away to Pasha, I believe.
I mean, he deserves it. He deserves it for hitting those spells. And let's be honest, Crystallized, he don't need it. He does not need it. Ego's still farming away, but just one of those games where the anti-mage has just never had the chance to use that power that on paper looks to be there against the Medusa. You see that he's got this ability of burning mana. He buys a Manta. You've got 3 here, extra illusions to burn it as well. But the reality of it is, if there's a strong team around the Medusa, you can't just ever get on top of her and go. If she's an item ahead of you, it just feels from that moment onwards that you're just never going to be able to threaten the Medusa in a fight.
And I like these color-coordinated items on Pasha. Everything is kind of blue and purple. The toss back on Medusa.
Oh, that's
and the skewer back.
Oh, here we go.
That's the big brain play.
Okay. Have they got any other ways of getting him even deeper? Again? Oh!
But
the swap! Ilias! Oh, but the RP! And then the missed hook shot down the side of it all. Crystallized, he's going to get the chance to pop the Stone Gaze. As Funnick's got to run. Pasha with the chase, the focus fire. Funnick tries to skewer away, but they'll find him. Youngji again finds the Doom onto the Ember Spirit. Crystallized just beating them back to the fountain as the buybacks will come out, but there's 2 dead for good on HellRaisers. As NaVi, they can just resume hitting the base. I mean, it was... Oh,
Mag.
Now on the Doom. Pasha tries to come across. King R's got the toss up. Youngji trying to run away, has that movement speed. The Shackle getting blocked by the spell shield. Still, they had to be careful how close they get to Crystallize, as Crystallize just holds his ground, focusing the objectives. I mean, toss back, King R.
He's out of mana.
He is out of mana.
But Satanic,
and this anti-mage is just dying because of the crits. The damage is too much. Crystallize kills him off. There'll be a buyback from Ego. But there is 3 dead on HellRaisers. NaVi are going to respect it. They are going to back off. I mean, they were so close to having the big play there, HellRaisers. If they were able to get that toss back onto Crystallize into the fountain, this would have been a big swing. But
yeah.
Ilias clutch stuff with that swap. That swap's not there, and then suddenly HellRaisers, they actually might have had a chance of holding on in this game.
Any repositioning skill in Dota right now gives you ability to just defend the tier 3 towers and go for that kind of a play, especially if you have both Magnus and Tiny in your team.
Go Funnick. He's going to hit the skew here. He's going to actually follow here with a hook shot there on top of the AM. He's been hook shotted as well. He's just locked down. He can't get out. That's a dieback on Ego. NaVi will move forward to look to end this one. 33-20, 29k lead. And an incredibly fat Medusa to top it all off as Crystallize has another excellent game on the carry. Swap
Another
back.
good swap into Cogs.
He's away.
NaVi playing on point.
He's even looking for the fountain shackle shots here, going straight in. As NaVi, they'll take the tier 4s, the Ancient exposed. This game will slowly be theirs. HellRaisers, they're chilling outside the base, maybe trying for one more play. But even with the toss on Pasha, they don't have enough damage. The hook shot into the Cogs pushback onto Kasani. Sets up for more kills. GG is called. And with that, NaVi, they'll take game 2 and the series.